Hi, I'm Cheryl Johnson with Spectrum Health, and I'm here talking with Cindy Barris, who is the program director for our Neuro Residential program. And March is Brain Injury Awareness Month, so one of the things that we want to talk about is our Expressive Arts program. So Cindy, tell us about the artwork that is behind us and how you work with people with brain injuries.
Thanks for having me here today, Cheryl. Appreciate it. So one of the programs I work with is our Neuro Residential program, and that consists of 6 adult foster care homes that are located on our Kalamazoo Avenue campus. The people that live there are all people that have gone through an inpatient rehabilitation program and continue to need quite a bit of support, but we want them to, and they want to live in a community-based setting. So we have 6 individual homes there where people live their lives. One of the ways that our tools that we use to help people participate in the world as much as possible is art, and the art pieces that you see here are from the gallery that's out at that location.
So you were telling me about some of these pieces. I mean, they have meaning behind them. Like what? Tell me about this piece.
Thank you.
Which you own, I know.
Which I do own. Thank you for pointing that one out. Actually, yeah, so we have 32 residents in that program. About half of the residents participate in our painting component, and this particular piece here was done by a young man. When I see it, to me, it reminds me of the Grand River, and I see a lot of movement in here. I know how hard it is for him to make movements, but how much joy he has when he's able to make full sweeping movements with his hand and be able to pull up that paint and create this beautiful piece. I think I can just see a little fish hopping here. It's got a lot of movement in it.
So it's not just the cognitive part of being creative, but they're also being able to build muscle and reach.
I think, you know, we can look at these types of things as being able to hit a person's physical abilities, their cognitive abilities, their emotional abilities. I think most of all is just being us. Not about a diagnosis, but about being human and being able to express in any way possible. And this is a great way. We see a tremendous amount of joy in our art gallery when we have residents painting down there.
Okay, so I just want to let the viewers know that I've been to your gallery, where there are a lot of pieces, and actually you can go online and see the gallery and purchase pieces of art. And if you go to spectrumhealth.org/expressive arts, it'll take you to the online gallery. So that's spectrumhealth.org/expressive arts. So tell me some more about other expressive arts that you have in the program.
Absolutely. At both that residential program and at our inpatient rehab program that's located on the Kalamazoo campus, I work with that program as well. We are using art and music and really any tool in a toolbox that we can use to help people not only go through their rehabilitation journey, but just recover overall. Spectrum Health has a great saying, it's heal the whole person. Okay. And so, you know, one of the ways that we just get great joy is understanding who a person is and trying to then tap in and use some of those ways and means to be able to regain skills. A great example of that is music therapy, and I know that that's another thing that you have a personal interest in. And throughout Spectrum Health, we have music therapy, I think at 7 different levels of care. We have our expressive arts and painting at 3 different settings. So it's really just great ways that we can kind of, you know, not only reclaim the spirit, but really use some of these to walk better, move better, think better, cross midline, all different ways. So they're great tools.
So I did have the opportunity to see a video that was created about one of your patients. His name was Aaron, and I think he actually suffered a stroke and then wound up having several brain surgeries. But watching how both music therapy and art therapy helped him to grow in his rehabilitation was amazing. So tell us about that.
You know, I hope people will go and look for that link after this, but Aaron had his inpatient rehab program at our subacute rehab program that's located at the Rehab and Nursing Center on Kalamazoo Avenue, and I'm actually program director for that program as well. Okay. And Aaron, you know, we knew a lot about Aaron pretty quick. His family shared that he was a musician, he played guitar, had been in a group in his community, and so we knew that that was something that was going to inspire and motivate Aaron. And so, and certainly when you see the clip, you can see that that had a lot of meaning for him. And obviously they'd given us permission to share the story, and you can see it on YouTube. For Aaron, from a music perspective, some of the clips that you'll see is Aaron working with a music therapist and an occupational therapist on drum playing, using a hand that's not working very well after his stroke.
Right.
He's done some work on guitar. He's done some work using a device that helps support and unweight him some, but allows him to move within his available range. So we're able to really take a science-based component and incorporate that with things that have to do with arts and with ourselves and make that really workable. Can I tell you more about Aaron?
Yes,
Okay, good.
Because I saw the artwork too.
I know. Well, that's the other thing about Aaron. And again, it's not for everybody, but for Aaron, he's just a very creative young man. And so his family saved pieces of artwork that he was making through what was really quite a long rehabilitation journey. And so they share it in this clip, and you'll see pretty simplistic art things at the beginning, drawings that don't have a lot of color or a lot of depth or movement, and then over time, more and more. As he was able to do more, you see that reflected in his art. And so it's just a really fantastic example of how, really, I think that made Aaron feel very much like Aaron.
I mean, in the video I saw where he's just drawing pictures where all the arms are down, it's all one color, and by the end, full color wildlife scenery. It was amazing to watch that transformation.
Yeah, and that's hard work, especially with neurologic injury like that. Sometimes we have people that they may not recognize part of their body or be able to see. It's called hemi-neglect or heminopsia following a stroke, and so you won't even see an ability to cross over a whole page. And so as we can kind of work on something that's quite motivating, that can really help people begin to kind of expand their view, both through arts and through music.
Okay. And storytelling.
And storytelling,
Tell me
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, actually we oftentimes, our expressive arts coordinator, Renee Couture, will oftentimes work with community artists creating together, ACT, to bring in storytelling components or movement and dance components to be able to look at, say, write a story about a piece of art. So for example, I'll look at this one here. This is another one of my favorites, and yes, I own it. But when I look at this piece, what called me to that is my many years of taking my children up to Lake Michigan at sunset and watching that sunset come down. So I think, we would see our artists maybe create a poem or a story about what that felt like to them, and you'll see those posted in our art gallery. And I love seeing that because, of course, art is so personal for us. What I see in something might be completely different than what you see in something. So it's like an opening into understanding. So if I said, Cheryl, what do you see in this one here? What does that one mean to you? Because I know you like it.
I know, because I think I'm going to buy this one. Well, I live in the country, and I can see myself as a child, just reflectively looking out and drawing inspiration from nature, which is what I often do.
Yeah, and just that solitary sense of looking out at something. And, I see this up in the gallery. When I look at it, to me, I look at that and I think about sitting on a hill in Provence because I really want to go to France and looking at,
hopefully someone from France is watching.
Yeah. So there's a great example of how, it looks like something different to us. I think, we've talked a lot about using it within our Neuro Rehab programs, but we also have expressive arts programming through our Lemon-Holton Cancer Pavilion, and that's been something that we've been able to grow in over the last year. So having both the ability to do the painting and the printmaking, and then also music therapy services. Mm-hmm. And we have music therapists with our hospice program, with our children's hospital, in our home care, with our Neuro Rehab Services home care. We have music therapists that are out there working. So we're really looking at how we can, I just like to say, have a big toolbox to help people recover in the best possible way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, March is Brain Injury Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. So tell me, what are the most common causes of brain injury?
The number one cause, and sometimes this gets missed, so thanks for asking,
okay. But
it's falls. And when I first started my career, I'm a physical therapist, so when I first started, we would have said motor vehicle crashes. Yeah. But now it's falls, because one of the things is we're just seeing a large volume of people that are aging. And so, it's just a numbers game. And where you see the falls is either in older adults or in children. So, for example, being in the little, tools that they tool around with and falling downstairs or falling off of playground things. For older adults, tripping, having home environments that are not safe, maybe the lighting not being so good or things like that. And, a hit on the head can lead to a bleed. So, yeah, about 40% of all traumatic brain injuries are from falls. You want me to talk about some other areas?
Yes,
All
please.
right. you know you've hit kind of a spot that
I
I
have.
have a lot of interest in. Yeah, and I feel like it's been an area of involvement for me as a rehabilitation person for a number of years. You know, other areas, of course, are motor vehicle crashes for a wide variety of reasons. Alcohol, fortunately, I think people are getting that message, but dangerous or distracted driving, especially the phones in the cars. That's probably one that makes me very scared, and we see that all the time. So really anything that's distracting you from driving, people think, oh, I can do all these things when I'm driving, and the problem is it's a 2,000-pound vehicle with a lot of mass and a lot of movement. You make a mistake, and that unfolds quickly.
One of the things I heard Dr. Gillespie talking about this morning is not putting your child in a child safety seat correctly. That 90% of the children aren't buckled correctly.
You know, I have to say I don't know the stats on that, but I know that it is a problem. And I also know, because I'm a mom and I'm a grandma,
Yeah.
I know that my children, as they had children, had to work with Spectrum Health's Children's Hospital to make sure they knew how to put the seats in and how to put the children in the seats safely. And you know, that's kind of a tough thing to get from a written booklet, so it's wonderful that we can offer just that tutorial and make sure that people have that as they're looking at having their children not only in an infant seat, but then in a child safety seat up through the required ages until they're big enough that that seatbelt's not going to hurt them.
Yeah.
So, you
So
know,
good prevention measures.
Absolutely.
Don't text and drive. Wear a helmet during sports activities, right? Everything from downhill skiing to horseback riding to biking.
Yeah, all sorts
Go
of
through your
sports
home
things.
and pick up cords that are going to cause you to trip. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably have more suggestions.
Oh,
than I
you know,
do.
actually, you're doing great. I feel like, well, thank you, Cheryl. I'll see you later. But no, I'm happy to hear you say those things because, you know, sometimes when we're like watching TV, things will get made light of. So, for example, these kind of comedy shows where, ooh, somebody fell down and they hit their head, ha, 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 that's funny. It's not funny. And honestly, I can feel myself get a little heated about it because it sends a message that that's no big deal. To be going down your skateboard down some ramp when the videos are running and the kid flips and falls down and hits his head, oh, that's no big deal. It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And it's a way that we don't, you know, we don't have to call that funny, and we don't have to have our children injured that way. And so I think the more that we can talk about really this runs everything. Our brains are what makes us human and what makes our bodies run. It makes our personalities. It helps us, you know, think and have relationships and all those things. It's like the central processing unit of a computer. So when you think about that, shouldn't we be head smart? I think
Exactly.
so. Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
Nope.
Okay,
that's good.
well, I think you've given a lot of good information,
Yeah.
and want to thank everybody for tuning in. And I don't know what's next for Spectrum Health, but tune in again. Thank you very much.